here with us tonight. Players Dave Loeb, Renee Moran, Ed Bukitz, and trainer Phil Rizzuto.
Where is she?
She's right in front.
Is she?
There
I
she
hope
is.
so.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are your 1978 and 1980 University of Manitoba Bisons, and I'm ready to talk again. You get another chance later. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to please, should we take a picture first and then I'll do this? Okay, we're going to take a picture first. And then I'll get them to wave at you one by one. Hold on. All right, gentlemen, stay where you are. I would like to ask you to step forward and wave to the crowd when your name is called so that we can know who you are. You look a little different than a couple of those pictures. Better. From the 1978 team, in from Toronto, Barry Gross.
Woo!
Phil Hudson. Rob McMillan. Court Rada. And in from Surrey, BC, Coach Greg Russell. From the 1980 team, manager Bruce Bell, in from Brandon. In from Calgary, Chris Caron. Paul Pecan. Peter Rotley. And Lloyd Baum. And members of the team both years, Randy Anderson. In from Edmonton, Al Eady. In from Kelowna, Robert Eager. Bob Blacken. The captain of the 1980 squad, in from Saskatoon, Tom Graham. Apparently Rob McMillan golfs. Rick McMillan plays volleyball. I could say Rick was on here, but it doesn't matter. The captain and playing coach of the 1978 team and the coach of the 1980 squad, Garth Fishke. And now speaking on behalf of the teams, please welcome Tom Graham.
Thanks, Michelle. As Harry mentioned, what a function this is. Would everybody agree? Perhaps the best way to understand what a Bison volleyball player was in our era is to understand what a Bison volleyball player wasn't. After I left Winnipeg, I coached in Canada West for a couple of years, and we'd beaten a team in our gym. And as I was walking out of the building, I crossed paths with one of their players and simply asked him, "You guys didn't seem to have your A game tonight. What was the story?" And he said, "Well, Tom, mental prep didn't go very well tonight." This was a team that had a sports psychologist whose job it was to prepare the team for each home and away game that they had. So in this kid's estimation, one of the reasons the team hadn't played very well that night was because the sports psychologist hadn't done a very good job of getting him ready to play. In my estimation, most of the players on our team preferred to prepare themselves, and I think they did an excellent job of that. And probably the epitome of this was our setter, Randy Anderson. So in volleyball, one of the objects of the game is you pass the ball from the backcourt and you try to put it right on the setter's forehead. You nail him to the spot, essentially. The setter sets the ball from there, the point goes on, but passing accuracy was a really big predictor of offensive efficiency. Well, with Randy, we could nail him to the spot. He'd set the ball, and if the point went on, and we lost it, he was just as apt to turn to us and say, "Come on, you guys, pass the ball," as anything else. And while this caused some consternation amongst us as backcourt passers, we were fully cognizant of the idea that this guy was a great friend. He was a guy for whom the game mattered, and he was someone who prepared himself each and every day. As a Vancouver Islander who basically parachuted into the Manitoba volleyball subculture, I learned an awful lot from these guys in terms of how to conduct oneself as a high-level athlete. This team won in 77-78. We lost 16-14 the following year. As mentioned, after leading fairly significantly through the fifth and deciding game. And this probably represents the low point in most of our volleyball careers, understandably. But as the video indicated, we also came back the following year and beat the same team in their own gym, which represented a significant high point, for sure. Revenge is a very motivating sort of emotion in our sports, and for a lot of others. So I think as importantly as anything, for the most part, we had an awfully good time doing what we did, and we forged a lot of good friendships. Congratulations to the other inductees for all that you've done to warrant your induction into this Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. It's fantastic to just hear what people have done, especially as someone who's coming from out of province and returning home, if that's what you can call it. Finally, thanks to the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame for including us with the Angela Chalmers, the Sylvia Burkas, the Andy Bathgates, the Dale Ivanachkos of the Ken Plains, all of the inductees tonight and all the rest of the inductees into the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. Gosh, I can remember cutting Ken Plains' football card out of the back of a Post cereal box when I was about 10 years old. So it's nice to be in there with the likes of him for sure and all the rest. I think the biggest honor, though, may be going in together as a team with the Cord Radas, the Phil Hudsons, the Al Eades, the Robert Egers, the Garth Pishleys, and all the rest of our teammates who won a few games, shared life together, and have stood the test of time as friends over these many years. So thanks very much, guys, and thanks to everybody.
Once again, a big round of applause for your 1978 and 1980 Boston. Thank you, gentlemen. While the Vietnam War ended. Jimmy Hoffa, the famous Teamster leader, disappeared, never to be seen again. Vic launches its first disposable single-blade razor. Many people gave up swimming after the release of Jaws this year.
Oh, it's still recording. Way to go, Ash.